Hello and welcome back to Live with Kate, a show every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central that talks about witchcraft through the gray magic lens. I am so excited for today's topic, our part 2 of Samhain, the Sabbat coming up on October 31st. So today we're going to be talking about ideas and how to celebrate Samhain. So if you didn't tune in last week, we talked about the history and folklore of Samhain. If you didn't see that, go ahead and go to my page, whether that's YouTube or Facebook, and see part 1. It'll give you all the history and origins of the Witch's Wheel of the Year Sabbat Samhain. Today, we're going to be talking about best ways to celebrate, and I am so excited. So let's jump right in. And first, are you looking for ways to celebrate Samhain? If so, today is all about that. In this show, we're going to discuss different ways that you can enjoy the upcoming holiday. So wherever you are, whether it's honoring your ancestors or just a fun exercise to dress up and eat candy, we have you covered today. So just a quick review on what Samhain is, right? And why witches celebrate this Sabbat. If you want more information, again, go to part 1. This is part 2 today, and I'm super excited for this 2-part series. One, because this Sabbath is one of my favorites. This and Yule are just phenomenal. Love, love, love this time of year. So Samhain is, and that is the correct pronunciation. I don't know if it's because I'm in the South, I'm in Texas. I always catch myself saying Samhain. And so if I say it that way, I'm so sorry. It's literally like a bad habit that I'm trying to break for the past 10 years. But I know it's spelled really wonky. If you're new to the craft, it is spelled Samhain, and it is pronounced Samhain. So now that we've got that out of the way, this day marks the transition from summer to autumn into winter. And really this is why that this Sabbath is has, the symbol of death associated with it, right? So Samhain also has strong ancient roots related to magic, life, and death, as I've already mentioned. It's a holiday that falls on October 31st and marks the end of the harvest season. Everyone else out there that isn't in this pagan lifestyle will call it, right, All Hallows Eve or Halloween. And it goes from October 31st to November 1st. So for many pagans and witches, this is the holiday. This is the Sabbath. It's really a time to reflect on the past year and set your intentions for the upcoming year. So I'm going to give you just a couple of deep dive ideas to jump into to celebrate this Sabbath, and then we'll go over some not so deep ideas of just like fun ways to celebrate, how to decorate your home, that good stuff. So the first thing that I want to talk about on how to celebrate is slowing down, right? Winter is approaching, the days are growing shorter. We kind of follow nature's lead and slow down our activities. So there's less work to be done at this time of the year as the leaves are falling and we're transitioning into winter and growth comes to a halt. Animals are preparing for hibernation by, spending more time indoors. They're, finding shelter. And we can take a cue from that and do likewise. So whether that's sitting by the fireplace with friends and family and sharing stories, of the joys that we've had in the past, in this past year. You can also take advantage of this time when really nature is coming to a halt, it's dying, and plants are withdrawing into the ground to collect their nutrients and kind of acclimate for the winter. This really gives us an opportunity to go deep and find our inner journey of consciousness. And as the winter sets in and the days grow shorter, we can pay more attention to the subtle changes in our bodies, in our minds, and in our spirit. So if you want to take the time, be a little bit more introspective, now is the time to shift your focus from the material aspects of the world into the spiritual realm. My next suggestion on how to celebrate Samhain is one of my favorites, right? I think I always talk about journaling and doing that inner work. You can call this shadow work, you can call it meditation. However you do your inner work is what I would suggest for you. It's really just time to take a step back, look within ourselves to find, okay, what can I change going forward before I set out these new intentions and these new expectations for the coming year. Just like ancient times, we have to go inward on our journey of self-discovery to unearth any areas that need improvement. So taking the time to follow the natural spiral pattern of energy until we reach our innermost point. From here, we can reemerge and bring creativity into our lives in what needs to change. So this is the perfect time to learn about divination or meditation if you've never jumped into that right now, because Samhain, the thinning of the veil, is easier to speak to those that have passed on, and divination is much more powerful at this time of year. So if you've ever, if you're wanting to jump into tarot, oracle cards, runes reading, any new divination techniques, I would suggest you jump in now. Another idea to celebrate this Sabbath is to honor the dead, right? There's all this energy of this time that has to do with death and passing on. And we can turn our thoughts to the people that have left us, right? And moved on from this world. Not saying that that is easy to do at all, but it is said that spirits can be contacted and consulted through this time of Samhain because the veil thins and it's easier to communicate. And so it's best to pay attention to those small messages that those in the afterlife may have sent us, whether that's dreams or sudden memories that are popping into our head. It is truly a time of reflection and a time to consider the past, so that we can confront what we need to grieve with or grieve for. And it's worthy to celebrate the full circle of existence. So celebrating life and celebrating that death and passing on. It's not something to be ignored or hidden. Taking time to grieve if needed, if that's the time of life that you're in right now, and being able to just have some closure and find that closure of that loved one. And so really I would invite, you can invite friends over for dinner that have known your loved one that have passed on, a friend or family, and be able to kind of celebrate together and really just sit in that grief to celebrate life and death. I always suggest setting a place for the person that has passed on, really just as an invitation to enjoy that time with you. So, and then kind of jumping off point of that is letting go of past things that no longer serve you, right? We can definitely have fun carving and digging out pumpkins and carving the jack-o'-lanterns and putting candles in them, setting them on our porches and balconies of our house, right? And this creates a spooky and festive ambiance for Halloween. But I really want you to see regeneration in that and enjoying the energy in that, to really just abandon the things that are no longer needed in your life that you can leave behind. And that takes a lot of inner work, right? It's not just like, oh, I want to give up this, right? You really, I would challenge you to search deep within yourself and really figure out, okay, what do I need to let go of, right? This is a time to let things die, and let go of things that no longer need to be in your life. So a simple ritual that you can do to let these things go is write on a piece of paper the thing that you're wanting to give up, and get a candle, whether it can be black or orange. I like those colors for the season, but it can be any color that you want. And you're going to want to write those down, fold up that paper, and say a phrase, something like, this so-and-so has come into being, the so-and-so has had its season, and now so-and-so, whatever it is going away. You can say something like that 3 times if you want, and then burn that piece of paper in your candle, and allow that candle to burn out in its entirety. So use a chime candle. And then just allow yourself to sit and meditate on that, and then let go, right? Or more simply, if you have like material items that are no longer serving you, you can give away or donate the objects or items that are no longer needed in your life, kind of a deep fall cleaning, so to speak. So now is definitely the time to let go of those bad habits and allow that change to take place. Right? I want to encourage you to remember that before new growth can begin, the soil has to be fertilized, right? That it remains from that previous time. And with that soil being fertilized, with no death or decomposition, there would be no life. So allowing kind of that soil to be fertilized and letting go, and then you can grow from that. And then another idea on how to celebrate is, I should have had these together, right? So honoring, a ritual to honor the dead, definitely a more heartfelt ritual, right? It's going to be a little bit more intimate and complex, but obviously one that is worthwhile to perform to honor the dead. Can be performed in your home on Samhain. I did it again, Samhain, goodness gracious. But turn off all the lights in your house and stand in front of a black or dark candle. And as the time passes, you can reflect on the good and bad times that you have experienced. You're able to meditate or think about that lost loved one, light the candle, and you can say something similar to, I welcome you with this light, spirit of those who have left before me, welcome. And then you can take a glass of wine or any beverage of your choice, drink and cheers to that loved one that has passed on, and then leave some as an offering for that loved one. And then you can, allow that candle to burn out. And once the candle is burnt out, I would just allow that offering to stay on your altar or wherever it is, until, you're ready to remove it. So yeah, that is a pretty deep ritual, but if that's the time of life that you're in and that grieving point, I would highly suggest doing something like that. If you are wanting more, right, you're not ready to jump into the deep end and you are just wanting to have a fun Samhain, or maybe you're just in a great point of life where you're reemerging, or you're just coming into your spiritual awakening, and so you're just excited, right? There are so many things that you can do, whether that's like decorating your home, obviously with everything fall, pumpkins, gourds, anything black and orange. I know a lot of people put purple into their Halloween decorations. Love it, love everything. If you have decorated for Samhain, please post pictures. I want to see everything. I'm a huge decorator, and so I would love to see what you have for the upcoming Sabbath. And then you can also use this opportunity, kind of like I said, of deep cleaning in preparation for the colder months ahead. So get out that crap that you don't need anymore, or, just have a fun, entertaining night with family and friends, whether that's with games, activities, a large dinner party with, great food and wine. I love wine, so that's something that we'll be doing with our friends, is having a big Halloween party and enjoying the company of our good friends, and celebrating and toasting right to that. I think that is also just as important as those dark nights as well, right? As you want to celebrate the good as well. And then maybe you're looking for like more low-key way to celebrate. If you're a solitary witch or just want to celebrate by yourself, you can absolutely do that as well. Really just taking some time to reflect on the past year, whether that's journaling or meditating, or even like getting outside and taking a walk in nature, can really do you good in, this Sabbath time. And then we're just spending time with your ancestors, right? Of in a meditation, or in whether you like candle divination, things like that, just spending time with your ancestors that have passed on. Make a special meal to honor them. Like I said before, of maybe putting a placemat out for them to enjoy the meal with you. This can, be super simple or as extravagant as you want. And then you can light candles, right? Set up an altar with everything orange and black and purple, and just take some time to enjoy the moment. Finally, no matter how you celebrate Samhain, be sure to enjoy this Sabbath, right? It is a time of fun. You should be celebrating and enjoying it. Dress up in your favorite costume if you want, eat yummy treats, and make memories with those that you love. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Next week, we'll be talking about candle magic. So make sure to tune in, and we'll